So now let's take a little more in-depth look on the more efficient and effective way to buy your parts. So, like I said in the previous video, you'll need a Bricklink account. There'll be a thing up here where instead it says my BL, since I'm already signed in. You're going to be, it'll say login or register, and you also have to register. Registering is free. You'll just have to put in some information. And this website is very safe, I must add, and you'll have no problems. We've been using this for like 4 years now. 4 years straight, it hasn't failed us. So yeah, so now let's jump right in. So this website is called Bricklink, bricklink.com. And a Bricklink is a very good website. It allows you to buy your FLL parts very efficiently and effectively while giving you the lowest cost. So, let's look at an example of how we can reduce the cost and the time that a part gets to us. And I'll be teaching you that so you guys can apply this the next time you want to buy a part. So, let's suppose that we want a... let's use the same example from the beginner's guide to robot design. Or yeah, let's use the same example. Let's suppose we want 20 of those black pegs, those black 2 pins that connect beams together. So yeah, we want 2 of those. Let's think about how we want to approach this. So I already know the part number. So we know there's 2 ways to buy the part. You can use the part number, or you can use keywords or the part name. Keywords / the part name. So I know the part number from memory, but many of you guys will not know the other parts that you guys may want to buy from memory, and I'll teach you how to do keywords. So you can use part numbers. So I just know the part that we're looking for is 2780. So it'll take us to this page. I've clicked on this before because we bought it this thing a bunch of times. But let's suppose we don't know what the part number is, alright? We don't know what the part number is. We're not sure exactly what we need to do to buy this part. Well, we know the part name. Well, kind of the part name. So we're going to start by using keywords. So we know it's black. We know it's a pin. We know it's 2 length. Oh, I misspelled that. So let's search up this. But then it's going to take us to this black cable. It's just a cable, and we don't want that. So let's try putting Technic pin 2. And here we know we're getting close because we see these parts that we have here that resemble something very similar to the part that we want. However, it's not the part we want. So we have Technic pin that's 1/2, but we want 2 length. So you have 2, but let's see what other keywords we can do. We know it's connector. You know the part's a connector. See what we come up with. We get some more stuff. It narrows the search engine down a little bit more, but we're not sure. We only see 17 parts here, meaning we're excluding the parts. Let's just see all parts. But this is all of them. We only have 17 parts, meaning we're doing something wrong. Now, what are we doing wrong? We're probably excluding some bit of information that defines the part. So we need to include that. Now, how do we include that? So if we go to 2780, I know this is a keyword search. Now that we're in the keyword search, let's not put the part number. If you're gonna look for a part number, you have to put it up here. This is both. So it's gonna take us here. Well, we know the name is Technic pin with friction ridges lengthwise staggered with or without center slots. No one's really gonna remember with or without center slots. An important thing to note is that it is a friction pin. A friction pin is basically a pin that causes lots of friction and it's hard for other parts to move. So if we go back here into our search engine, and if you do keyword search, let's say Technic pin 2, then we put friction. Let's see what pops up. It says we couldn't match Technic pin 2 friction with any items listed. That's because we have the 2 in here. This 2, actually, you think it would actually help, but it actually doesn't. This part name is very specific. And now if we search here, we basically found the part we're looking for, except it says without friction, and we want with friction. So if we scroll down a little bit, it says Technic pin with friction ridges. That's good. Lengthwise without center slots. And this type of peg is, or pin, is like almost like a pin that has, it has a lot of more friction. It has more friction than the normal one. So I like to call that one a super friction. But this is the one we want. Technic pin with friction ridges lengthwise staggered with or without center slots. So we click on it. We have this. Now this is the part catalog. Technic pin with friction ridges lengthwise staggered with or without center slots. Now we're going to scroll down and we're going to go to lots for sale. We want parts that are for sale right now and that we can buy. Alright? And we obviously want the part with the most the color with the most parts, because that's probably going to have the most cost effective part, because these probably people may have put paint on these ones, and they're probably going to be at a higher price, so we're probably not going to go there. And you see black, there's 8,000 of this part. So now we're going to browse this website and we're going to look and put in a few important parameters so that we can get the most efficient and effective way to buy our parts and get the lowest price. So let's start with this part. So like in the previous or the other video, we want minimum quantity to be 20, because we want about 20 of this part. And since I'm in the USA, I want the seller to ship to the USA. Now, you may think this is all we need, right? We put in our parameters, we hit search, we find our option. However, no. We can save a lot of money by putting some more options in. And we can see that we have these options. Instant checkout only. No minimum purchase. Includes super lots. Seller accepts US dollar. And we have all these other different parameters. So, let me go and explain each one individually. So we have to make sure the seller ships to the USA, because that's where I live, and I want to make sure that they can ship the part to me. And here we have the condition, which is new and used. Personally, I don't really care whether it's new or used. Usually they've been like used once or something. They've hardly been used. They've just been purchased and they just haven't been used. And, well, we know minimum quantity. You usually don't want minimum price. Because, like, why would you want a minimum price? You would only want a maximum price. So, yeah. But, however, with maximum price, you have to make sure that your maximum price is not lower than the minimum price or the cheapest price. So, I like keeping, like, well, I know this part's very cheap, so I'm gonna keep the max price at 0.10. Or, you know what, let's not even have a max price, because we're going to be able to figure out the most efficient and effective way to buy the parts. We wouldn't even need the max price. So now we have the seller location. I'm going to come back to this in a bit. I want to make sure that the seller is from the United States. Now you may be asking, I mean, they're going to, as long as they ship to the United States, it's fine. However, I want to make sure the seller is from the United States. Why? Because A, you will get your parts faster because there's less travel if it's in maybe an international if there's an international shipping. And also another thing to do with international shipping, which is B, international shipping can cost money for international fees. And international fees raise the price. And we don't really want to raise the price. We want to make the price as cheap as we possibly can. So we're going to make sure the seller location is from the USA. So that way there are no international shipping fees, and our parts get to us as fast as they can. So, well, you don't really have, since I'm in the US, I'm going to make sure the seller accepts the US dollar. And now we're going to look at this. Instant checkout only, no minimum purchase, include super lots. You're not going to really need super lots. They're just like big places. But instant checkout only, that's like a place where you buy it and they instantly you put the part in and you can't buy other parts. So it's instant checkout only is not really something that you want to check. However, if you go to minimum purchase, no minimum purchase, this is something where it's all depending on the scenario. So minimum purchases are this thing where it says minimum buy US 118. Now you may be asking, what's a minimum purchase? Well, a minimum purchase is a purchase where you have to buy the minimum purchase in order to buy the part. Meaning, assuming you wanted to get this part, let's just suppose, even though this doesn't even have 20, let's assume that this says 20, alright? The minimum buy would tell you that you would have, just assuming you only wanted this part, you'd have to pay $1.18. Now, that's not really worth it because we can see all these really cheap prices, and we know if there wasn't a minimum buy, we'd get it for such a cheap price. However, this minimum buy makes it so that it's $1.18. Now you may be asking, now why would there even be a minimum buy? Well, a minimum buy is to encourage people to buy from the same store, and that's another way where you can save money. If you're buying more than one part, you want to buy from the same store. So that way there aren't any other shipping fees that, there aren't any other shipping places, meaning your parts will all arrive at the same time, rather than different times, prices might be different, and shipping fees would be like multiple shipping fees. So that's why you may want to go with the one that has a minimum buy if you're buying more than one part. But for this scenario that I'm in, I only want 20 of this piece. I don't want anything else. That's all I want. 20 of this piece. So I don't want a minimum purchase because the minimum purchase is gonna like skyrocket all of my it's gonna skyrocket my search engine. Everything is gonna be much more expensive. So we're gonna exclude that. And now we're gonna hit search. And now this shows us the most efficient and effective way to buy our parts from. As you can see here, we buy our parts from AB Parts Store, and Turtle Bricks is also another good place to buy their parts from. They have good parts here, just a little bit more expensive, hardly by any. So this is basically where you want to be. You've put in all your parameters. This is the cheapest part that you can get from AB Parts Store. They have 114 in stock. Does that match our minimum quantity? Yes, it does. Minimum buy? None, because we put in this no minimum purchase. Sort by lowest price. We're going to get the lowest price in this option right here. As you can see, it only increases from there on out. And they have the number of parts, and they sell from the USA. So this place seems really good to buy our parts from. So now we're going to go hit view. This is going to show us the store place where we can buy them from. So we can see they have a 98% praise. That is a pretty good approval rate. They also have 5,000 orders. So I can tell that they're a reliable source from like 5,202 orders. And we've probably ordered like 10 times from them. So I know that this place is trustworthy, and I know I can buy this part. So as you can see here, it tells us image, condition, description, buy, price, and then we can put in our quantity. So let's suppose you want 20. So if you want to add it to your cart, you would hit add items to cart. However, I already have this in my cart. So if I wanted to put this into the cart, I would hit add item to cart. But I'm not going to do that, because if I go to my cart, I already have this in there from a previous purchase. You haven't purchased it yet. It's just in our cart. So now it says domestic, 1 star 1 lot, international, 0 stars 0 lots. So if we click here, it's taking us to the short terms and conditions, and it's gonna do all kinds of stuff. You're gonna need to like put some yeses, like you agree to the terms and services. But then that's basically how to buy your part. So now we have our cart, 20 items, 1 lots, image description, save 70%. There's a discount going on for this part from this store, which is even better, meaning the cost is 6 cents. 6 cents plus shipping, which actually isn't a lot. Majority of the costs, usually when we're buying these parts, is actually the shipping. So, yeah. Now we can see that we have learned the most efficient and effective way to buy our parts from this website, and that's just 6 cents plus shipping, which is actually really cheap. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to buy learning how to buy your parts the most efficient and effective way. If you have other people who want to see this video, be sure to share it. If you want to see more of these videos, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's comment if this strategy worked for you. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.